Hey friends, and welcome to the Revive Everyday Living podcast.
We are your hosts, Courtney
and Sharaya, and we're talking everything from life situations, relationships,
friendships, and parenting,
and all our adventures.
So stick around because
we are getting real.
We're in a moment already. We are starting. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
We didn't say hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Because you started. You threw me off when you started. There's no point of hey, y'all.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3.
We want to thank you for being part of the Real Cool group.
Yes.
I want to know, what do we want to name our audience? Because we want to interact with you guys more this season, this year, for the rest of the year.
For the rest of our life.
Yes. And so we want to come up with something.
That's a really good idea. We're going to put a thing out on our stories on Instagram and on Facebook. And we want y'all's input as to what y'all want to be called.
Yeah. So our audience, y'all matter to us, and we thank you for taking the time to chime in, to listen, and to be choosing to be encouraged by our life experiences.
Yes, and encouraging us along the way, because we wouldn't be here without y'all. Seriously.
Wouldn't. So let's get into it. We are doing real good finds today, and I'm gonna need my real squad. Real Squad, we'll put that down. That may be a name.
Okay, Real Squad.
I'm going to need the Real Squad to come and get our girl Courtney, because she is acting brand new right now. She is all the way into this organic moment, this eco-friendly.
Well, okay, it all started because a friend of mine, like we said a while back on some of these podcast episodes, I was introduced to Trader Joe's after living here for 8 years, and I've become obsessed over the past few weeks.
Yeah,
months,
she out here tripping.
So, okay. Yes. Where are you going with this, Shreya?
I want you to tell us what is your real good find.
Okay. So my real good find is, now you got me all embarrassed over this.
Because she fancy and bougie now, guys.
Yes, but it's because I found these wool balls. I found these wool dryer balls from Amazon. They are from New Zealand. There's no fillers. They're anti-static, lint-free, odorless, chemical-free, all that good stuff, and they work really good.
But tell us what you did when you got them. What did you add to your wool balls?
Yes, because they come odor free. They don't smell like anything. So I put my Young Living essential oils onto these wool balls, and girl, I'm just living my life over here with these wool balls and essential oils.
The fancy life. The eco-friendly.
Yes. But I will tell you though, they're reusable. Like, you can use them for like years. They don't unravel, and it really does dry my clothes faster. So try them out. They're from Amazon. They were only like $8 for a pack of 6. I'll link them on our stories. Check them out. Let me know what you think. Let me also know if you've ever used wool balls in your dryer, if you like them, if you don't. What you got for us, Shrey, after you called me out on my eco-friendly stuff?
Well, my real good find is limonada and mineral water.
You see, and we want to call me out on being bougie, but you want to go on with the mineral water, not this purified water. No, we're talking mineral water. Give it to us. Give it to us.
So in Mexico, they have this, it's mineral water, but it's limonada, and they put mineral water with it. It is amazing. And then, so you guys know, I am a visual eater, and the way that they present it is just phenomenal. It's like this little glass, but I can't even describe it. I have to just send y'all a picture.
We're posting it on our stories. So
yes, I will post it so you can see. So the whole time I'm in Mexico, I am drinking limonada like every day, all day long. And mind you, I am allergic to citrus, but I don't care
because you're in Mexico drinking.
I'm in Mexico drinking mineral water. So when I came home, I was like determined to figure out how to bring this situation back with me. And I have found the perfect combination. It is the Simply Lemonade. Or you can do the limeade. Either one works really well. And I think it's 1987 mineral water from H-E-B.
Ooh.
And you can buy a case of 12 for $8. It is so good. I will post it so that you can see, because mineral water is the business. And you do not, I repeat, do not put it in a plastic cup. You must have a glass.
Ooh.
Because it tastes different in a plastic. You have to wear glassware only.
Yet I'm the one that's fancy. Trying to save the earth. Just kidding, y'all. I just like the wool walls. But let's talk about water. Because you brought it up.
Yep.
So I'm going to continue it, because I don't know if y'all have seen this new show. I don't know if it's new. I think it's new. But it's a new show on Netflix called Down to Earth with Zac Efron.
Which is pretty hot, by the way.
Yes. But he actually has an episode where he talks about water. He talks about going to France and all this kind of stuff. But at the beginning of this episode, they're talking about water and the different types of water. And it got me thinking about the type of water that I drink, and, you know, the whole blah, 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 want to get healthy kind of stuff. And how water is actually more healthier when it has more minerals in it. So I want to know, are any of y'all water fanatics? Do you drink certain types of water? What kind of water do you drink? Just let us know. Just kind of a fun thing for us to do with y'all.
We are looking for a new brand of water. Ozarka is out.
Ozarka. We don't even know how to say it. But it's out.
Out of there.
We're going with the Fiji or the Spain water. I don't remember what it was called, but anyhow, watch the show. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, tell us what you think on our Instagram page.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about water, minerals, all that good stuff, I heard this quick little saying, or have you heard? Let's go there. Have you guys heard this quick little saying of, if you won't praise him, the rocks will cry out?
Yes. There's actually a song that we sing, a worship song, and it talks about just that, and not letting the rocks cry out in our place.
So Bishop Jackson, Antoine Jackson, he was in town, and he was talking about the rocks crying out. And he really broke that little phrase down. So one thing he said is, there's 3 ways to unlock heaven: praise, worship, and truth. So I just want to talk about praise.
I like to praise.
But what he was talking about praise is, he said praise, or a rock in its being is self-expression, right? So the rock being itself, just being a rock, is praise unto God, right? And then he went on to say, knowing who you are is praise to God, and praise is an awareness of who you are. So, like, you know, Courtney and I have been talking about it for a couple of weeks, where we're like, you know, once we get into that revelation of who we are, and we become like our authentic selves, that self that is not worrying about other things, that self that is just like pure.
Yeah, and it's like we talked about on one of the previous episodes too, when we stop worrying about what other people think of us, because that caused spiritual fatigue, and we are just ourselves. We are being who God called us to be, in our originality, in our authenticity, in our uniqueness, in just who we are. That in itself is a praise to God.
Yep, praise to God. So, are you a rock?
Are you?
Are you a rock? Are you self-aware? Do you know who you are and who God called you to be? And are you that person every day?
And so many times when we learn who we are, it's such a relieving feeling that we're not trying to be somebody else. We're not trying to be fake, and we are at the exact place at the right time where God can bless us, where he can use us, and we can be a blessing even unto others.
Yep. So the easiest way to praise God is to show up every day being you.
Being exactly who he called you to be.
I'm reminded of during the time that I was on vacation and I was in my rest moment that God showed me who I was. And so he reminded me that although experiences or trauma, some would say the things that happen every day in life can discourage you and redirect you from what God has called you to be and who he's told you he is. Take some time, rest, and get reacquainted with your authentic self. Because as you show up, as you continue to show up as you, the authentic you are impacting lives. The more you show up as you don't have to say a word. It's your body language. It's how you're behaving in different areas. People are watching and they're empowered and inspired by you being you.
I like the way you said that, because just this past week, I reached out to you with a situation that I was going through. And what you said back to me was so encouraging. And it was you just being your authentic self.
And Courtney felt like I was being my authentic self. And I did. I showed up and I said, what's the first thing that came to mind? But I wrestled with, am I too much? Am I being aggressive? And I didn't necessarily want to show up as me. I wanted to show up as the counterfeit, because I was like, she may not like this response. But I went ahead and I'm like, no, I'm just going to be me. So there are times where you're going to battle with, am I going to be the counterfeit or am I going to be authentic? And sometimes we talk about, other people being the counterfeit of who we are. In reality, sometimes we're the counterfeit of our own selves.
That's so true. And sometimes, what you said to me, you immediately directed me back to the word. You immediately directed me back to who God says that I am. And I highly believe that if you were to have entertained the conversation as a fleshly person and not who you were, if you were to have entertained the conversation as anybody else in the world would have, not being their authentic self, that whole situation could have been totally different. The way I was feeling at the time could have been totally different. I could have gone back to a situation that I didn't want to be a part of, and reacted to that situation in a totally different way. But because you were your authentic self, because you were being in the position that God has called you to be in, that situation turned around, and it made me feel so much better immediately.
And that reminds me of what we were talking about earlier, about friendships is a form of intercession. And a friend or friendships should be like guardrails. They are there to keep our friends, or we are there to keep our friends inside.
Yeah.
Inside of the rail. And it's not so much of keeping things out, but I am there. My priority is to keep you in.
In line.
So you are, every time you bump me, I'm just redirecting you back to where God called you.
Yes.
I'm reminding you of who you are. So and it's not to say that you won't bump me. That's what I'm there for. For me to be bumped. So then I can remind you and I just put you back in your lane.
Right.
And so friendship also is that space where once you create that relationship, your friend is always there to remind you, you're being the counterfeit. I need you to to bring the real stuff. Mm-hmm. Can you pull out the authentic bag, please?
Yes. Yeah. And that's why it's so important that you develop and you obtain healthy relationships and healthy friendships, because if not, those guardrails are going to be broken and you're going to be heading off a cliff.
Yep. So we want to encourage you to show up as the authentic you all summer long.
Don't let those rocks cry out in your place. Drink your water. Drink your water. And go watch Zac Efron
Get
down
you
to earth
a refreshing limonada in a glass cup.
while you dry your clothes with the wool balls. But until next time, let's get real. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Revive Everyday Living.
Be sure to subscribe, comment, and share.
Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook.